Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson stopping by for a brief conversation about what she hopes will be her next chapter, and that would be serving as the state's next governor. Secretary Benson, thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
It's good to see you.
You too.
Why don't we just start right there? Share a little bit of your vision for Michigan if you're elected governor.
Well, you know, I'm a mom of a 9-year-old little boy, and it's not lost on me that everything we do over the next decade in this state will define the future of our loved ones all across Michigan. And when we look at what we need to do in this moment, I recognize a lot of families are struggling to afford the cost of living in this state, a home in the community you want to live in. Too often we're having to choose between the cost of energy or electricity and our grocery bills. Healthcare is on the rise and increasingly out of reach for a lot of people. So I want to make sure as governor that we're making Michigan more affordable for everybody so that you can live and thrive in whatever community you choose to live in. You can send your kids to quality schools. And I recognize that there's so many reasons why we can come together as a state around a vision of an affordable Michigan where our schools are world class, our healthcare is second to none, and where it's easy to thrive in any community, affording the cost of living and building a life where you can raise a family and grow together.
You talk a lot about kids. I know you have a particular interest in the RX Kids program,
yes,
which is something that started here in Flint. It has slowly started to expand, and I know that the budget that Governor Whitmer signed yesterday actually includes like $270 million to continue that expansion. What would you like to see that program become, and how would you maybe take it completely statewide?
Well, RX Kids is an incredible investment in our future. It invests in our youngest Michiganders and making sure in those first months of life, they and their parents have the resources they need to thrive. And so I think I'm grateful for Flint and Dr. Mona Hanna for creating this pilot that has shown how investing in our young people, our babies, can enable everyone to thrive. I think we should take it statewide. I think every family in the state should be able to have that support when you become a new parent, when you expand your family, and that's the first step in a path to lifelong prosperity for those young Michiganders.
We are watching a budget battle right now take place in Washington, where your party, the Democrats, have really made health care, the accessibility and affordability, the focal point of what is now the government shutdown that's going on right now. Talk about your plans to help keep health care affordable and accessible here in Michigan.
Well, everywhere I go in this state, it's the #1 thing I hear about. People worry that they're one illness away from bankruptcy if they can't pay their medical bills, or they worry they won't be able to make it to a hospital, or their hospitals will close, particularly in rural and urban communities in this state. And with the cuts to Medicaid coming through the federal budget that are devastating our families and communities across this state, Michigan needs to step up and ensure that health care is affordable for every one of our residents, that we're investing in our physicians and our nurses to make sure they have a high quality of life, and that we're enabling every resident to have access to affordable, quality health care, no matter where you are in the state. I've heard a lot of stories also about insurance companies, health insurance companies failing to cover necessary health needs for residents for financial reasons, not for health reasons. And I think we need to take the money out of politics and the money out of our healthcare system so that decisions around health are being made by patients and their doctors, not by insurance providers and CEOs.
I know you're a Metro Detroiter. I grew up in Metro Detroit. A lot about the auto industry. That's important here in Flint.
Yeah.
When it comes to job growth, there are different needs urban-wise in comparison to rural-wise. But talk about the importance of job growth in this state, the continued job growth that we'd like to see here.
Well, in a state like ours, where we are in an affordability crisis, where the cost of living is skyrocketing for everyone, we cannot have stagnant wages. And that is really what is driving and squeezing far too many people into struggling right now. So we need to have an economy where wages are abundant, where we're diversifying the number of things you can do with a career, where we're investing in on-the-job training for skills so that you can go right from high school into a well-paying job through an apprenticeship program that's available throughout our state, or if you choose into a four-year college to help you grow there, but also creating jobs that diversify our economy and enable you to work. Whether you want to start your own business, you can do so with ease. If you want to work in advanced manufacturing, you have opportunities here as well. And above all, we are investing in diverse economies that will grow well-paying jobs in our state, that will compete with a higher cost of living and ensure everyone can thrive.
We had the Lieutenant Governor here for a similar conversation once, and I asked him this question. I said, in this race, particularly for the Democratic nomination. You're in this race, he's in this race, Sheriff Swanson is in this race, and I know that all of you, your friends, your colleagues, you have worked together in lockstep for the better part of the last 7 years of this administration. Now you're waging a campaign for this job against each other. Do you find that at all difficult?
We are all friends, and we all share a similar vision for the state, one where our economy grows, where educational opportunity is abundant, and where everyone can thrive. But at the heart of it, I'm the only candidate in this race that has run and won statewide multiple times, including in 2022 when I won by 14 points statewide, including in parts of the state no other Democrat had won. So I'm poised to be able to build a winning campaign, but I also know how to run government well. I'm the only candidate in this race that has run one of our largest agencies in the state, Department of State. I inherited a broken system, transformed it so that now we're able to eliminate wait times and make government through that agency actually work well for the people. So I'm ready as Michigan's next governor as well to make sure every agency delivers those same results, just like our agency does for the residents of the state. And that's what it's going to really take to ensure we can take our economy to the next level and build a Michigan where everyone can get a well-paying job, afford to live in this state, and thrive.
Another part of your job in this administration has been to safeguard the elections. And despite the many safeguards that you put in place, there are still people out there who question election integrity. What is your message to them?
I invite anyone who has questions about our elections to consider working in one. That's how you can see as a poll worker, as an election worker, just how much work that goes into making sure our elections are secure and accessible to all. And yeah, I'm really proud that when I took office, our elections were ranked 31st in the country. Now we're number 2 because we've expanded options to vote. We've invested in opportunities for people to become educated about how to vote, and that's why we have the highest voter turnout, or among the highest voter turnout in the nation in this moment. So by making government work well, our elections work well, in engaging people and being a part of those elections, we can and have rebuilt trust in our democratic process, which is so important right now when we need government to be responsive and to hear and see the residents of the state. Democracy and making democracy work is the vehicle to making that happen.
I'll end this on a lighter, more personal note. Are you still running marathons?
I am. I've done a few marathons this year, and the Detroit Marathon's coming up. I'm excited to run a couple more marathons before this campaign is over. This campaign is a marathon too.
I was going to say that.
It's taught me how to pace myself and endure and persevere.
Secretary Jocelyn Benson, thank you so much for spending some time with us. We appreciate it. I know you're busy, so.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right.